Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Once again, the Birmingham City Council has been encouraging people to become more fit and active.
So much so that they've even been giving away free bikes.
Free bikes? On your bike then?
Love to ride a bicycle.
Here we are in Victoria Square. The latest stage of Birmingham's cycling revolution is about to begin.
So, here with me is Councillor Lisa Trickett. Lisa, how did you come up with the idea?
Okay, we're undergoing in Birmingham something called a cycle revolution. We're trying to actually change the way we move people and goods about our city. And one of the things when we were talking to people, we were putting in cycle routes, we were offering cycle classes in schools and various other things. You may have taken part in it. One thing that kept on coming up was the cost of a bike. It was a real block. People wanted to get on their bikes, but actually they were riding old bikes or they just simply could not afford it. So what we did was we worked in partnership with various companies, and we've actually come up with the idea of the Big Birmingham Bike, where we are giving away 3,000 bikes to actually enable Brummies, where the big barrier would be the ability to afford to get on their bikes and to get healthier, to get fitter, and importantly for some of the young people in the queue there today to actually go and get a job.
Last week we did a feature on eco-green walls and how they are improving the environment. Now the City Council is encouraging people to cycle. So are you doing this to help the environment as well?
Absolutely. Air pollution is a critical issue in this city. We are due to grow by 80,000 houses. The amount of cars that potentially brings onto the streets of Birmingham, we cannot carry on allowing people to just move about the city in their car. So by encouraging more and more people onto their bikes, more and more people to walk, we will improve the quality of the air in this city and improve, importantly, the health and well-being of every Brummie.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
These people behind me have come to collect their free bikes. Here with me is Dave. Is it true that you really got the first bike?
Absolutely, the first bike, yes, this morning.
So, how did you obtain this bike?
An application came through the letterbox. I live in Neatchalls. I filled in the application and luckily got a phone call and got my bike this morning.
So, why did you want a bike?
To lose weight and get fit. That's the whole idea. Basically to lose weight and keep fit.
This will cut down on pollution and help people to keep fit and avoid obesity. Why do fish swim in salt water? Because pepper makes them sneeze.
What is grey, has 4 legs and has a trunk? A mouse going on holiday.
What kind of fish do you see at night? A starfish.
Why do bananas use sun cream? Because they peel.
What did the pig say on a hot summer's day on the beach? I'm bacon.
Why do fish swim in salt water? Because pepper makes them sneeze.
Why did the robot go on holiday? It wanted to recharge its batteries.
What race is never run? A swimming race.
What do you call a snowman in June? A puddle. What did the sand do to the sea? Nothing. The sand blushed and the seaweed.
And now it's time for another memory moment.
Scott, it was the Royal Scott that used to come down.
Royal
And I can
Scot?
remember its numbers.
Oh, the Royal Scot.
6100.
Oh, I thought it was the Flying Scotsman.
Or is it 6000? I think 6100 was Patriot. That was the two. But whenever it was going to come through, the sheds, which was over in Shipcote Lane,
Yeah.
you could go over there and the people, and the driver, because we had Lenny Foxall, was it? He was a fireman, you know.
Yeah.
He'd say the Royal Scots coming through, because they knew when the thing was coming through, and everybody used to get on the steps and wait for it. And 9 times out of 10, out of curiosity, the signalman, which was just up by Monument Lane, he'd stop the thing on the corner of St Vincent Street, over the St Vincent Street Bridge. He'd stop it so everybody could. He'd just slow it down so everybody could see it. Then he'd give the signal and he'd carry straight on again.
Ooh, I did not know that. This mosaic shows us about the history of the Great Western Railway.
Here at Snow Hill Station. The station began in 1847. And this is what it looked like in the 1870s.
The station and the mosaic was once much larger than this. So that's a little bit of history written on a wall. I didn't know that.
Now, if you were at last week's Harborne Carnival, I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Here, well done for the job that you do. Moms and dads of the children. But in fact, it's how enjoyable and so athletically.
Now that summer is with us, why not go out and find out about your city? You could even take a tour on an open-top bus.
So what percentage of people are genuinely Brummy who take a tour on the bus?
Right, well, I think probably about a quarter of them come on the bus from Birmingham. I'm always battling with Brummies to get them on the bus.
Well, if it's so good, could I come?
Of course you could. Come with me.
And you'll also see the fountain, which we know as the floozy and the jacuzzi. She's really the river goddess. And now we're going to turn left, but just have a look at this fabulous building on the right-hand side. This is one of about 27 of these red brick and terracotta libraries. Lived in the building there, and he founded the Oratory Church there. Now these branches, folks, just be careful because these do overhang. Duck. Great, okay.
I trained as a Heart of England Blue Badge Guide in 2000, right? And then I realised that Birmingham was the only city without a bus. So, believe it or not, I did get my Building Society account money and I bought my second-hand bus in 2009. Also, we don't run it every day of the week and we do it seasonally. So it's just at the weekends, April to September.
But people come on because people come to Birmingham and they're not sure what to expect. They think we're still a manufacturing city and it's all just going to be smoke and pollution. And when they come on the tours and when you ask them afterwards, well, what did you think? And they said, just fantastic. We had no idea Birmingham was like this, and we'll definitely come back. So I hope that you've seen something that you might want to do later, or something that you want to pursue. If you've got any questions, do ask as you're getting on. But thank you for joining us, and I hope you've enjoyed Birmingham.
This is the weekend when we remember the armed forces, and this year we particularly remember those who were at Dunkirk.
By the middle of 1940, things were looking bad in France. The British troops had been forced back onto the beaches of Dunkirk.
Belgium has more or less capitulated, and the Dutch Queen and the government have come to England. The Germans have taken control of the Low Countries, and England and France are carrying on the desperate struggle almost alone. There's every indication that Italy will soon join Germany. France has asked for an armistice, and at the moment Germany is considering the terms. Our troops are moving from France. England is becoming one vast frontier. The Empire troops are all here together, with sections of Poles, Norwegians, Dutch, Belgian, Czechoslovaks and French. School life has proceeded quite normally all this month, and the attendance has been kept quite steady.
Over the course of 9 days, over 338,000 soldiers, most of them British, were rescued by around 900 vessels and taken back to Britain. One of the men rescued was Herbie Carter. He was born on Waterworks Road in 1916.
And we were, oh my God, we was in hell of a state. And even if we hadn't have retreated, we'd have been massacred. On the boat that I was on, coming back, iron boat, Scott and Scott, built in 1899, and there was half a dozen Frenchmen and they all jumped overboard and drowned themselves. How our boat got back to England, I'll never know.
I mean, it was
you
bombed.
could hear chugging,
yeah, it was
we
bombed.
were bombed to hell.
Dad's still got
most
the
of them was killed, and I'm one of the very, very lucky survivors. And that old boat, he kept chugging, fantastic how that boat got back here, Ramsgate, where I landed. On the deck, and my pal on top of me. And there was three of us mates like, and the other one pulled him off me, and he was, God bless him, he come from Sunderland, and you never forget it, you know. Every so often, I think about, you know, them that are left, God bless them, that died. And how we got back to Ramsgate, I'll never know. To hear that engine, chug, 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 and we thought we'd never get back, but we did. When I got to Ramsgate, the sailors department, depot, whatever it was, he said, "Are you hungry, mate?" I said, "Hungry? I could eat a cow between two mattresses." I said, "That'd make a lovely sandwich for me." And he bought a pile of sandwiches. I've never in my life had so much.
No, you know,
I went through the lot.
Today, groups such as this lady, Kate Ryan, are raising funds for injured troops.
A charity called Cakes for Casualties, and for the last 5.5 years I've gone every week to the hospital in Birmingham.
So this started up, didn't it, when you visited your sister in hospital?
Yeah, I went to visit my sister in Selly Oak in 2009, and like most people at that time I had no concept of what was going on, and I certainly had no idea that there were hundreds of injured soldiers coming back at a time to Birmingham. So I gave cakes to my sister. She shared some with some of the injured guys, and they said, "Ask your sister to bring us some on S4." So it was supposed to be a one-off visit 5.5 years ago, and it's been the most incredible encounter and the most amazing thing I've ever done in my life. Those guys have enriched my life beyond belief.
Where do you do all this cooking then?
From my own kitchen at home. So I've had 7 elements in the oven in 5 years. It's a marathon task, but it's well worth it, and to see the boys smile and to just brighten their day and just let them know genuinely that a lot of people care, not just me, that there are people who genuinely care what happens to these guys.
For this week's spelling mistake, this was found in West Bromwich Market.
I'm sure battery is supposed to be BATTERY.
This is a shocking mistake.
It's nearly 100 years since John McCrae wrote the famous poem In Flanders Fields. We went to the area where it was written, called Essex Farm. In the First World War, he was overcome by the tragedy that surrounded him.
Flanders Fields poem was written on the 3rd of May 1915, and the reason why we are here is because this is where it was written.
This is the area where the sergeant soldier worked. The hospital casualty area looked like this. This is where McCrae worked. Injured soldiers would have been taken down here and taken in here for treatment. Can you imagine what it would have been like in here? Hundreds of soldiers piled on top of one another on stretchers. They would have been crying out in agony, awaiting treatment.
It says here, while serving as a military surgeon in Belgium, John McCrae wrote In Flanders Fields, one of the most enduring poems of the First World War. His words have made the poppy a lasting symbol of self-sacrifice in the war.
The poem reads, In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the lark still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below.
3 years after he wrote this poem, he died in action.
Olivia Ashbourne, TNT News, Essex Farm Cemetery.
You're watching In Our House from TNT News. Thanks for watching, and now for something completely different.
You're watching In Our House from TNT News.
We're on Virgin Media on 159 and on Freeview Channel 8.
So thanks for watching.
Welcome to the Library of Birmingham. There have been entries from 31 different countries, but only 5 entries are left standing. Here they are. This is entry number 1. Here is the Hall of Memories, and here is the circle bit that people know as the library. The interesting bit for me is the shape of the trees and the water fountain, and this is what the fountain area might look like.
And here is entry number 2. Another thing that really stood out for me was the pattern of the floor over in this area. I don't really think very much of this place, however it would be a great place for little kids to play in. Another amazing feature of this is the fact that it has water fountains controlled by your own phone. So you could turn the water fountains on and off at the click of a button. Isn't that amazing? I wish I could download the app already.
This is entry number 3. What I really liked about this entry is the big water fountain space. If you don't really like playing with water, you could have a nice sit down or like just chill in the greenery area. They have put a water kind of pool around the Hall of Memory. They've kind of made it a bit more interesting so it stands out from a lot of other things, because you wouldn't really expect to see a kind of pool of water around there. So it's nice.
This is entry number 4. It has a reflecting pool which can be frozen over to make an ice ring. I really like the paving on the floor as it stands out from everything else that you would see in town.
This is entry number 5. What I really like about entry number 5 is how it has a pathway filled with loads of greenery leading up to the Hall of Memories, which makes it really nice. I really like how they've put water jets into the design, because most of the other entries they wanted fountains, but water jets is a really cool idea as well. So, who are you going to vote for?
And a large lamp on the left.
This is what the public sees, but we are going to go behind the scenes. This is a Utila Island iguana.
In the morning, they've started to wake up now, so all the lights are on. And that one in particular, that is a heat and UVB emitting bulb. So the lizards can warm up, but they're also able to take in UVB to make vitamin D3, which is actually very, very important for healthy bone growth as well with this particular species.
What's UVB?
So UVB is part of the sun's rays, so obviously we've got to be very, very careful not to get burnt. But these lizards can tolerate high amounts of UVB because they're found in an area, little island off Central America, that obviously gets very, very hot and the sun's out all the time. So they need to be able to take lots of this UV. So do you?
Whoa. That's a very floppy chin.
He's very impressive, isn't he? So he's very, very different looking as well to the female. So he's bigger. He's got all these big raised spines on his back. And male lizards often have to look more showy, they have to look more impressive as well. The bigger they are, the better they look, the more chance as well they've got with breeding with the females.
Does the food that they eat go down its chin?
So this is a dewlap, and what they do with that is they can actually extend it, and it just makes them look even bigger. And they'll puff themselves up with air as well. They'll raise these spines up so they can almost make themselves look twice the size. And what they'll do like little head gestures, so they'll bob their head up and down. It looks like they're saying yes, but what they're actually doing is just making themselves out to be more dominant, bigger than the other animals around as well. And he'll even bob his head up and down in front of me.
Well, doesn't that hurt? Scratches.
It's not too bad.
What does it eat?
So this particular species will eat anything from fruits, leafy vegetation. It'll also eat crickets, locusts, mealworms, waxworms, and in the wild these are found in the mangrove swamps in Utila. So they will actually eat little bits of seafood as well, and things like that, like little mollusks and other crustaceans. You see as well, they're called spiny-tailed iguanas. Do you want to touch the tail and just feel how spiky they are?
Whoa.
Spiky, aren't they?
Yeah. It feels like a tree with frog legs.
So that's it for this edition of In Our House.
Goodbye, and thanks for joining us.